my child, before you sleep tonight, listen carefully, because this message was never meant for everyone. Some people will hear these words and feel nothing, but you've been carrying something invisible for a very long time, and heaven noticed. I know the nights you pretend you're just tired, when really you're emotionally exhausted. I know the way you stare at the ceiling in the dark, trying to silence thoughts that never stop racing. I know about the silent battles, the ones you never explain, because you're tired of hearing people say, just stay positive. You tried, you really did, but there are wounds inside you that nobody ever saw. Moments where you smiled in crowded rooms while your heart quietly broke behind your eyes. Moments where you drove alone at night with tears running down your face, asking questions you were too afraid to say out loud. God, did you forget me? No one would even notice if I disappeared. Why does life feel so heavy all the time? You carried invisible pain so long that you started believing silence was normal. But hear me now, you were never abandoned. Not once. Not in the nights you cried yourself to sleep. Not in the mornings you forced yourself out of bed while your soul felt numb. Not during the heartbreak. Not during the rejection. Not during the moments you sat in your car after work, unable to move because the pressure on your chest felt unbearable. I was there, closer than your next breath. And tonight, I need you to understand something rare. The reason you've always felt different is because you are. You noticed it when you were younger. You felt emotions deeper than everyone around you. Certain words stayed with you for years. Certain wounds changed you forever. You could walk into a room full of people and still feel completely alone. You learned how to read pain in other people's eyes because you knew pain personally. And sometimes you hated how sensitive your heart was. You wondered why little things affected you so deeply, why betrayal crushed you so hard, why you overthought everything at night while everyone else seemed able to sleep peacefully. But your sensitivity was never weakness, it was evidence. Evidence that your sore soul was created differently. Rare, jealous souls often feel isolated before they understand their purpose. Because you were never designed to blend into a world that survives by becoming emotionally numb. You feel deeply because heaven formed you that way. And the enemy has tried very hard to make you hate that about yourself. That constant exhaustion, part of it came from carrying spiritual weight you couldn't explain. The anxiety, the confusion, the strange feeling that something important was supposed to happen in your life. But everything kept delaying. That wasn't random. There has been a battle over your identity for years, a quiet war. Not everyone will understand this, but deep inside, you know exactly what I mean. Because your life has never felt ordinary. The attacks were too personal, too targeted, too repetitive. Every time you started healing, something happened. Every time you started believing again, someone disappointed you. Every time you tried to rise, fear whispered, "Don't even try. And eventually you became tired in places nobody could see. You mastered the art of pretending you were okay, pretending you weren't lonely, pretending you weren't scared about the future, pretending you weren't mentally drained, pretending you didn't secretly wonder if your best days had already passed. But I saw beyond the mask. I saw the nights you whispered exhausted prayers into your pillow, the nights you couldn't even find words anymore, just silence, just tears, just breathing through pain, and still you survived. Do you understand how rare that is? Some people lost themselves completely after what you went through, but something inside you kept holding on. Even when you wanted to quit, even when you said, "I can't do this anymore," you still woke up. You still kept moving. You still kept searching for light. That strength did not come from nowhere. I placed it inside you because your story is not ending in despair. Listen carefully now. The reason this season felt so isolating is because transformation often happens in hidden places. Seeds grow underground before anyone sees proof of life. And for a long time, you thought buried meant forgotten, but buried things can still grow. You thought the silence meant abandonment, but sometimes silence is preparation. Sometimes I remove distractions because your soul needs healing more than applause. And yes, there were moments where you begged for immediate rescue. You wanted answers. You wanted clarity. You wanted one undeniable sign that your life mattered. But instead there were long nights, confusing seasons, closed doors, people walking away, dreams delayed, and loneliness so deep it physically hurt. I know the ache of watching everyone else move forward while you secretly feel stuck. I know how painful it is to wonder why life seems easier for everyone around you. I know how exhausting it feels to carry hope and disappointment at the same time. But hear me carefully. Delay is not denial. You are not behind. Your life is not ruined. And the chapter you are in right now is not the final chapter. Something is shifting. You can feel it, can't you? Even through the exhaustion, something inside you refuses to fully die. That tiny spark, that quiet feeling, that strange sense that maybe, just maybe, your story still holds something beautiful. That feeling is not imaginary. I planted it there because breakthrough often arrives quietly before it arrives visibly. And the rare souls, the chosen ones, usually suffer the longest before they understand why they survived. You survived because your life carries weight. There are people you have not met yet who will someday need your story, need your compassion, need the wisdom your pain created. One day, the tears you cried in private will become proof that healing is possible. One day, the loneliness that nearly broke you will become the reason you know how to love wounded people gently. One day, you will realize you were never weak for feeling deeply. You were becoming someone capable of carrying light into dark places. That is why the enemy attacked your mind so fiercely. Because if you ever fully understood who you are, fear would lose its grip on you forever. So let me remind you tonight, You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not unlovable. You are not invisible. And you are certainly not forgotten. You have spent years speaking to yourself with cruelty, calling yourself failures that I never called you. You replace mistakes like permanent labels. You punish yourself for things I already forgave. Meanwhile, I still look at you with tenderness, even now, especially now. Not when you become perfect, not when you finally have it all together now. In the middle of your exhaustion, in the middle of your uncertainty, in the middle of your healing, I still choose you. And yes, you are part of a rare group, not because you are better than other people, but because you kept your heart alive in a world that tried to harden it. You still care, you still love, you still hope, even after disappointment, even after betrayal, even after trauma. That is rare. Most people become cold after pain, but you, even wounded, still search for meaning, still search for light, still search for me. Do you know how precious that is? I watched you survive seasons that should have destroyed your faith completely. And although you questioned me, you never fully walked away. Something inside you always came back. That was not weakness. That was your soul recognizing its source. I know you feel tired, so tired. Tired of carrying responsibilities. Tired of fighting anxious thoughts. Tired of pretending you're strong all the time. Tired of being the one who comforts everyone else while secretly needing comfort yourself. There were nights where you wished someone would notice your pain without you having to explain it. You wanted someone to simply hold your heart gently and say, I know you're struggling, so let me say it now. I know. I know how heavy this season has been. I know the financial stress that keeps your mind awake at night, the fear of the future, the pressure you never talk about, the quiet panic when bills pile up, the humiliation of feeling like you're trying so hard and still barely surviving. I know the disappointment of watching opportunities disappear, the heartbreak of unanswered prayers, the emotional fatigue of constantly rebuilding yourself. And yet, you are still here, breathing, listening, holding on by threads sometimes, but still here. That matters more than you realize, because some breakthroughs begin the moment a soul decides not to quit. And tonight, something inside you is being restored, not all at once. Healing rarely happens all at once, but slowly, quietly, like sunlight entering a dark room 1 inch at a time. The heaviness will not last forever. The confusion will not last forever. The loneliness will not last forever. You are entering a season where peace will stop feeling so far away, where your nervous system finally learns what safety feels like again, where rest no longer feels impossible, where joy no longer feels temporary, where your heart stops expecting abandonment every time something good appears. I am healing the parts of you that panic when life becomes calm, the parts that learned survival before they learned peace, the parts that became addicted to worrying because chaos felt familiar. I am teaching your soul how to breathe again, slowly, gently, patiently. And one day soon, you will wake up and realize the darkness no longer controls your thoughts the way it used to. The grief will loosen its grip. The fear will quiet down. The sadness will stop speaking so loudly. You will laugh again without forcing it. You will sleep peacefully again. You will look in the mirror and recognize yourself again. This is not false hope. This is restoration. And I know you're afraid to believe that sometimes, because disappointment taught you to protect yourself. You became cautious with hope, careful with expectations. You learned not to get too excited because life kept hurting you unexpectedly. But do not let pain convince you that beautiful things are no longer possible for you. Your story did not end in the worst moment. Read that again in your heart. Your story did not end in the worst moment. There are still people who will love you correctly, still doors waiting to open, still prayers moving behind the scenes, still mornings ahead where you will feel grateful you survived this chapter. One day, you will understand why certain things had to fall apart. Not because I wanted to punish you, but because some environments were suffocating your soul slowly. Some people only loved the version of you that stayed small. Some doors needed to close because they were connected to pain, not purpose. And I know loss changed you. I know rejection changed you. I know betrayal made trust feel dangerous. But please hear me carefully. What happened to you is not your identity. You are not the heartbreak. You are not the abandonment. You are not the failure. You are not the anxiety. You are not the trauma. Those things has wounded you, but they are not your name. Your name is beloved, chosen, protected, seen, and deeply understood. Even in the moments nobody else understood you, I did. I understood the tears you hid, the panic attacks you concealed, the silent disappointments, the birthdays that felt lonely, the nights you scrolled endlessly, trying to distract yourself from emptiness. The moments you stared out windows, wondering if life would ever feel lighter. I saw all of it, and I stayed. I stayed when others left. I stayed when you pushed everyone away. I stayed when your faith became fragile. I stayed when you became angry. I stayed when you became numb, because my love for you was never fragile, and it never depended on your performance. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to earn love. You do not have to earn my presence. You already matter, right now as you are. And the rare souls, they often struggle to believe this, because they spent their lives feeling misunderstood, different, emotionally intense, too caring, too sensitive, too thoughtful, too aware. But those very qualities are part of what makes your soul extraordinary. You notice what others miss. You feel what others ignore. You carry empathy in places where others carry indifference. And although that made life painful sometimes, it also means your heart carries unusual depth. One day, people will feel safe around you because you understand pain without judging it. One day, your voice will calm anxious hearts because you know what anxiety feels like personally. One day, your survival will inspire people who almost gave up. Your pain is not meaningless. None of it was wasted. Even now, you are becoming softer instead of harder. That is sacred. And tonight, before sleep finds you, I need you to let go of one thing: the belief that you were forgotten. You were never forgotten, not for 1 second. Even in silence, I was working. Even in delay, I was protecting. Even in heartbreak, I was preparing healing. Your future self would thank me for. There are things I prevented that you still do not know about. There are battles you survived without realizing how close darkness came. There were nights heaven fought for your peace while you cried alone, thinking nobody cared. You are more protected than you realize, more loved than you realize, more chosen than you realize. And the next chapter of your life will not look like the last one. The heaviness is lifting. The constant survival mode is breaking. The old version of you, the one who believed they had to carry everything alone, is finally learning to rest. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because your soul is remembering who holds it. So tonight, breathe slowly. Let your shoulders relax. You do not need to solve your entire future before morning. You do not need to carry tomorrow tonight. Rest. You've been strong for so long. Rest. You've survived enough battles already. Rest. You are safe in ways you cannot yet fully see. And while the world sleeps, heaven is still speaking over your life. Healing, restoration, peace, purpose, open doors, unexpected provision, new beginnings, gentle love, emotional freedom, a future untouched by the pain that tried to define you. You are going to make it through this, not barely survive it. Truly make it through. And one day, you will look back at this season with tears in your eyes, not because it destroyed you, but because you finally realized it transformed you. The rare souls always think they're breaking when they're actually becoming. So sleep tonight knowing this. You are not alone in your battle. You are not invisible. You are not abandoned. And you are not ordinary. You were chosen to carry light through darkness. Chosen to survive what should have destroyed you. Chosen to remind other wounded hearts that hope still exists. And no matter how exhausted you feel tonight, your story is still unfolding, beautifully, slowly, carefully. And I will stay with you through every chapter ahead. Now rest, my child. I'm still holding you, even here, especially here